Colossal Swords can be some of the highest damage and highest stagger potential weapons in all of Elden Ring. So I'm going to show you the top 3 best Colossal Swords that you can get on any playthrough of Elden Ring, and surprisingly, some of these you can get at the very beginning of the game. So without further ado, here are the top 3 best Colossal Swords that you can get. Coming in at our number 3 slot for the best Colossal Swords in all of Elden Ring, we are going to be looking at the Fire Knight's Greatsword. In my personal opinion, this is my favorite weapon that came to us in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, and with a fantastic split damage of physical and fire, you're going to get the most damage out of this weapon if you go hardcore into Faith, putting a flame affinity on it. You're going to get an excellent scaling in Faith at B, and you're also going to get some really great physical and fire damage. This weapon is incredibly unique considering it has the light attack pattern of the Godslayer's Greatsword and the heavy attack pattern of the Zweihander, which are 2 of the best weapons in the game. I absolutely love this weapon because it feels a lot lighter than it actually is, yet it still packs a punch, providing you with a ton of really awesome Ashes of War to combine, especially when you're doing a fire build. Now, we mentioned that this weapon does have the same heavy attack pattern as the Zweihander, which means you are going to get pierce damage out of this weapon, which is, in my opinion, the best damage type in the entire game, considering most bosses are very weak to pierce damage. Now, with that being said, if you wanted to go more into pierce damage, you can definitely do a charged heavy R2 build, allowing you to get that really high damage with those charged R2s and break some stances. Now, for this build, we're going to be using the Fire Knight's Greatsword, as well as the Fire Serpent Helm, the Fire Knight Armor, and 2 pieces of the Rakshasa Armor set. For your talismans, you're going to be using the Shard of Alexander, the Godfrey Icon, the Two-Handed Sword Talisman, as well as the Fire Scorpion Charm. For your flask, you're going to use the Blood-Sucking Cracked Tear and the Flame Shrouding Cracked Tear. And for your stats, you're going to be using 60 Mind, 17 Vigor, 28 Endurance, 16 Strength, 20 Dexterity, 7 Intelligence, 70 Faith, and Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Bow for buffs. Now, in our slot number 2, when it comes to the best Colossal Swords in all of Elden Ring, this one is a fan favorite, and rightfully so, the Zweihander. This weapon has made it through Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and also obviously in Elden Ring, and rightfully so. It is such a phenomenal weapon, doing so much physical damage. Not only that, having an excellent poking moveset with pierce damage, allowing you to really put together some fantastic builds, which is another reason this weapon is so good. The versatility is phenomenal. You can put almost any Ash of War on it, or use any grease, or have any affinity. This weapon just is a great weapon to use for any situation you find yourself with in Elden Ring. I personally like to do a stance break stagger build with this weapon, dealing high pierce damage and breaking stances incredibly fast, but like I said, there's a ton of different ways to use it. The other major advantage that this weapon has is the fact that you can get it at the very beginning of the game, because the weapon itself takes very little stats to use, and you can just buy it from a merchant in Weeping Peninsula. Now, you would think that having a colossal moveset would make the weapon pretty slow. However, this is not the case, as you do get that poking heavy charged R2 like I said, allowing you to get some really quick damage off and get your enemies down faster. Now, the heavy stagger build you're seeing in this video is going to be the Zweihander with Cragblade on it. We're also going to be using whatever armor you would like. If you want to do more damage, use the Rakshasa armor set, but I'm using the Shard of Alexander, the Two-Handed Sword Talisman, the Axe Talisman, as well as the Dagger Talisman for those criticals. For your flask, you're going to use the Stone Barb Cracked Tear and the Spike Cracked Tear, and for your buffs, you're going to be using 60 Vigor, 17 Mind, 30 Endurance, 80 Strength, 20 Dexterity, 9 Intelligence, 25 Faith, and 8 Arcane, with Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Bow for buffs. And in our number 1 slot, we have definitely the most iconic weapon of any Dark Souls or Elden Ring game ever, and that is going to be Guts' Greatsword. This is a phenomenal greatsword and the best Colossal Sword in the entire game. You have an excellent range on it. The strength scaling is going to be at A, and you can put some completely broken Ashes of War on it, aka Giant's Hunt, like you're seeing right now, and it makes every single boss in the game a complete joke. You're going to do an exorbitant amount of physical and pierce damage, any affinity or grease or Ash of War, just like the Zweihander, but this weapon is just going to hit so much harder. Now, it does have higher strength requirements than the Zweihander does. However, you can get it equally as early in the game if you just run up to Caelid and grab it from the back of a carriage. It amazes me that the best Colossal Swords in Elden Ring are just pretty much sitting out in the open for you to go out, grab, and completely obliterate the game. Now for this build, we're using the heavy greatsword with the giant hunt ash of war. You're going to use the shard of Alexander, the two-handed sword talisman, the spear talisman, as well as the dragon crest great shield talisman. If you want to do more damage for your flask, you can use the blood sucking cracked here, but I have the stone barb cracked here and the green burst crystal tier here. And for your stats, you're going to do 60 vigor, 17 mind, 30 endurance, 80 strength, 20 dexterity, 9 intelligence, 25 faith, 8 arcane, and flame grant me strength and golden vow for buffs. Now I am going to throw in an honorable mention here because for those of you who stayed to the end of the video, I think you're definitely going to want to know about this, but the ancient meteoric ore greatsword could have gone in slot 2 or 3 depending on how much you like this weapon. It has excellent physical damage with a little bit of magic sprinkled in, and its strength scaling is going to be pretty decent at B. Where this weapon really excels though is the mobility aspect. White light charge is going to allow you to charge straight towards your enemy, covering a ton of ground and then exploding them with a white light charge of magic damage, allowing you to get off a really nice amount of damage while you've closed the distance. The only reason that I felt this weapon didn't deserve to be on this list is the fact that it is not infusible and you can't change any Ash of Wars, and the arcane scaling is pretty low, as well as the magic is not great on this weapon. However, it is still an awesome weapon to use, and it still will provide a great playthrough for you if you decide to snag it. But I felt this weapon needed to be mentioned as it is a very solid weapon. I just thought the other 3 deserve to be on here a little bit more. And guys, with that being said, that is going to be the top 3 best Colossal Swords in the entirety of Elden Ring. There is no need to use any of the others because they're not going to give you the same benefit as these 3 will. So, thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification on your way out. I appreciate it a ton. And until next time, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.